No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and Mammon. That was Matthew 6:24 from the King James Version. And I'm going to tell you why I read that passage of scripture and how it applies to this continuing drama between the New Jersey Nets, Brooklyn Nets, I'm telling my age, between the Brooklyn Nets and Kyrie Irving. And I'll have that for you on this upcoming edition of Maddie's Rap. Stay tuned. And welcome back to another edition of Maddie's Rap. I'm your host, the multiple award-winning author Matt D. Talford, author of a couple of amazing books that I will tell you about at the end of this video and tell you why you want to have them in your library or your Kindle or Apple iBooks library, okay? We got it in print, we got them in ebook, and we have one of them in audiobook for those of you that prefer audiobooks, but I'll tell you about them at the end of the video, all right? Today, I want to jump right in, but I don't want to do that without first thanking my new and returning subscribers. Thank you guys so much. I so deeply appreciate and I'm just grateful for you guys. You guys have shown me that what you taught me the past couple of days, especially with my last video, the real reason why they're going after Kyrie Irving, you guys have taught me and illustrated for me that when you don't give up and you just keep going, you keep going with the work that the Most High is giving you to do, and you don't waver. And even though you feel like giving up sometimes, you say, you know what, I'm going to do one more video or one more, whatever that thing is for you. I'm going to go one more mile. When you don't give up, divine timing kicks in. Divine timing, none of us knows what divine timing is, okay? None of us ever knows what divine timing is. I believe in the scripture it's also called due season. None of us ever knows what that is. But if you just don't give up, that divine timing will kick in, and you will understand why you were doing what you were doing, or why you were chosen to do what you are doing. And all of us had something different that we came here to do. So I got a video talking about that. The two most important things that anyone can ask themselves is, what did I come here to do, and am I doing it? So I'll put a link to that video in the description box below. But listen, I don't want to get too heavy. I want to talk about, so thank you again. Thank you all. I appreciate you. The comments, I read them. The likes, the shares, I appreciate you guys so much. And if this is your first time watching my video, thank you for stopping by. I hope you like the content. Now, I don't want this to be too heavy. I don't want this to come off as accusatory, but I wanted to simply do one thing. For those of you that have been following me for a while, you follow me on my blog, www.mdtalford.com, you've read my books, and you've watched my commentary, you know that the central theme behind everything that I write or speak about is that with every what, there is a connected why. I live my life that way. With every what, there's a connected why. When we fail to look for the why, we can oftentimes find ourselves standing in judgment of another individual. Now, that may be ironic with what I'm going to say today, but just stick with me, okay? Why did you read Matthew 6:24, Matt? I read that passage of scripture because it applies to what's going on right now with Kyrie Irving and the question in the minds of many. Why isn't this person stepping up and saying something? Why isn't that person stepping up and saying something? Why did this person throw Kyrie under the bus? I thought that they were boys. Or, why did a fellow black man throw Kyrie under the bus? Why did a fellow black man of status, Shaq and Charles Barkley, throw Kyrie under the bus? And if I say Kanye, guys, by accident, charge it to my mind and not my heart. But I will say this, they both are kind of going through the same thing, and it's some of the same stuff has happened with Kanye, but we're talking about Kyrie today. So anyway, getting back to Kyrie. Why aren't these people, and then on the other hand, you got the bus thrower underers, okay, or the shovers waiting for the bus to come by so they can shove them. And then you got those that people are asking, well, why won't this person step up and say something? All of that can be found in Matthew 6:24, okay? You cannot serve God and Mammon. No man can serve two masters. He'll love one and hate the other. Basically, what the Messiah was saying when he taught that is that we are fooling ourselves if we say that we love two people on different sides of an opposition. You say, well, I love these two that are opposing each other. Have you ever really watched a football game where two of your teams were playing and really said, I don't care who wins? Maybe, but at some point, and maybe you had to check yourself on it. At some point, you said, you know what? I really want this team to win. And then, you got an out. If that team loses, well, hey, my other team won. That's kind of what that's like. But what the Messiah was doing was he was calling out certain individuals. Remember, he spoke in parables all the time. He said, no man can serve two masters. Now, if you ask me what or who he was referring to, I think he was talking in code to those who were listening. Because remember, he always said, he that has an ear to hear, let him hear. I'm gonna update and say he or she that has an ear to hear, let them hear, because I don't like leaving a. Anyway, I'm not gonna get into that. He or she that has an ear to hear, let them hear. Okay. He was calling out the Pharisees, and not just the Pharisees, but these people in these government positions in the land of Judah that were appointed there by the Romans. Okay, and who were Hebrew, or who were of the tribe of Judah, who were Israelites, okay, that were saying that they love God and they love their fellow man, but they all up in this Greco-Roman lifestyle and are enjoying the trappings thereof. So he was talking to them. Remember, people, the Messiah pissed a lot of people off because he was calling out things that were wrong. He came there, he said, I came here for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. He came there to fix a broken nation, a nation of people that had forgotten who they were, and they were going at each other. So he basically, when he said you cannot serve two masters, you're going to love one and hate the other, you're going to despise one and hold to the other, he was calling them out. Is not that same stuff happening today? Do we not see that same thing happening, that same theme being repeated with Kyrie Irving and the people at the forefront that are being, criticized for throwing him under the bus, Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal. Some even say LeBron James. I haven't seen too much about him in all of this mix. But and then Stephen A. Smith, I'm going to deal with him in a second. But that passage of scripture, the Messiah was calling him out. That same thing is happening today. So these people that are throwing Kyrie under the bus and that are supposed to be of his same tribe, this is history repeating itself, okay? And then these people that probably feel his pain, but they're not saying anything, they're doing it because they love Mammon. What is Mammon? Let's look at the Strong's Concordance. Mammon in the Strong's Concordance is G3126. And for those of you who are not familiar with the Strong's Concordance, it's typically going to be a letter followed by a 4-digit number. If it's an H followed by 4 numbers, the H stands for Hebrew, the G stands for Greek. So typically you're going to see the H throughout the Old Testament and the G throughout the New Testament. What is that telling you? It's telling you that a lot of the New Testament was written in Greek. What are we talking about right now? The ancient Israelites, or the ancient members of the tribe of Judah, had abandoned they had abandoned even their own language and had adopted the Greco-Roman lifestyle. So anyway, Mammon, G3126. It's a Greek word, and don't grade me on my pronunciation of it. Mammonas, a Greek word, mammonas. Mammon in English, mammonas in Greek. The definition is of Chaldee origin, ancient Chaldean, okay? And it basically means confidence that is figuratively wealth personified. So it's this air of pomp and money all personified, as if you could take pompousness and money and turn it into a person, that would be Mammon. So when he says you can't serve God and Mammon, you're talking about two opposing ideologies, okay? And that's not to say I'm not one of these people, even though this is the background I grew up in church when I was little, you got no control over what you're taught or where you go. But this whole thing of, you got to be poor, and no, that's not to say that you can't have money and love God. That's not saying that. That's saying that you cannot serve Mammon. You can't be pompous about this money and then serve the things of God at the same time. You're going to love one or to love the other. In this case, it is, are you seeing righteousness being opposed to unrighteousness, okay? And is that unrighteousness tied to money, okay? When you live in righteous, what you need is you're going to get it anyway. You're always going to get it, and then over and above. But I'm not here to teach a lesson on abundance or manifestation or any of that stuff. I'll deal with that another day. I've probably dealt with it in some other videos. Getting back to this whole scripture, 6 and 24 of Matthew, you cannot serve God and mammon. This is the reason why these people aren't saying anything. Okay? They know that if they speak up in defense of Kyrie, they're gonna potentially mess with their money, their status. Status and money, that's mammon. Okay? Money and status applied, but perhaps status and money that were given and not earned through righteousness. Yeah, I said it. You know? And I'm not saying that they didn't earn it righteously. I'm not saying that you didn't righteously get on, the NBA on TNT. What I am saying is, good and damn well, my nephew might be watching, all right? And I do drop some words, y'all. Don't judge me. I just know that my nephew looks up to his uncle, and he ain't grown yet. So I try to keep it clean for him. But anyway, you cannot serve God and mammon. These guys, listen. Oh man, if I speak up in defense of Kyrie, I could lose my status. I don't want to lose my seat on NBA on TNT. Bro, how much more money can you make? I mean, you had an illustrious career. You're known as one of the greatest centers ever. How much more money can you make? Now, I'm not saying that. This is not to say. Now, I like to try to come back to the middle, y'all. I like to, because if you're quote unquote reporting, you want to do it fairly, okay? Every individual on this planet has the right to be who they are. So if this is who you really are and you don't like this man or whatever, then I get it. But still, you don't have to throw this dude under the bus and say, well, New Jersey Nets should have fired him. Oh, I say New Jersey. I keep saying New Jersey. I'm telling my age, y'all. It's the Brooklyn Nets now. I remember them when they were the New Jersey Nets, all right? And caught that fade from Kobe and them in the championship series, Lakers over the Nets. But anyway, no disrespect to any Nets fans. I know that had to be painful. Look, I'm a Knicks fan. I know pain as much as anybody does. But anyway, that is the reason why these people are not speaking out. And perhaps they feel like they're securing their position by doubling down against Kyrie in defense or on the side of the people that are putting the money in their pocket. So that is what the Messiah was saying, and that's the reason why I read that video. That's the reason why I read that passage of scripture, Matthew 6 and 24. No man can serve two masters. He's going to love one and hate the other. He's going to despise one and hold on to the other. So these guys are holding on to their positions and despising another person to be able to secure their position. All right. Stephen A. And then I'm gonna share a story, something that my mother taught us when we were little. My mother gave birth to 6 children. Okay, 5 boys and 1 girl. I'm number 2 of 6. I'm gonna share that lesson at the end, but let me deal with Stephen A. and get off of here. Stephen A. is special. He's special because even though that passage of scripture, Matthew 6 and 24, applies to him as well in my book, I read and heard some commentary from Stephen A. Smith this morning where he was speaking out against what the Nets are asking Kyrie to do and saying that, that was ridiculous. That they were going overboard. Anything wrong with that, Matt? No. But in my opinion, there is something wrong with how he prefaced it. He led in with, what Kyrie did was stupid. He should be punished for what he did. Okay? What he did was stupid. It was senseless. It was da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. All these other negative words applied to what Kyrie did when all he did was share a tweet that said, hey, I saw this movie. It was informative to me. Y'all check it out. And then here came the establishment after him. Instead of dealing with the person that produced the movie and basically answering the call to debate him. I talked about that in my other video I did, the real reason why they're going after Kyrie. I'll put a link in the video in the description box for those who haven't seen it. I talked about that. To me, Kyrie did nothing. He just shared a movie. People share stuff all the time that cast us in a negative light. They always like sharing, hey, go watch this movie, and we're either, a drug dealer, a criminal, or a hooker, or something like that. When the overwhelming majority of people who look like me are successful, hardworking individuals that are family-oriented. But you're not going to see a whole lot of movies like that. Is anybody apologizing for sharing movies that always cast us either as slaves or in a negative light? Nobody ever apologizes. In fact, we share some of those movies. Stephen A. Let's read this passage of scripture. Matthew 6 and 24 applies to Stephen A., but there's another one that applies to him. Because, again, He said that what the Nets are doing to him was too much, and I get that. But I want to read one more passage of scripture, and then y'all can tell me what you think. This comes from the book of Revelations. It's Revelations 3. Revelation. It's not, I don't know why we put that S on there. Revelation 3, and let's go 3 and 15 through 16. Revelations 3 and 15. I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would that thou wert cold or hot, or I wish you were cold or hot. It's King James Version. Verse 16. So then, because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. So basically, words of the Messiah, red letter edition, he's basically saying, this is God, this is the Most High saying, the words of the Most High through the Messiah, saying, I got no respect for you. I got no respect for you. I got more respect for somebody that says, I don't like Kyrie for these reasons. I got more respect for somebody that says, I stand with Kyrie. But for you to demonize his activity on the front end and then on the back end say, well, y'all going a little bit too far. Revelations 3 and 15 through 16. Y'all leave a comment. Let me know what you think on that. Last but not least, let me tell you about what my mother did. And this has to deal with the members of the tribe that love getting on camera and slamming Kyrie Irving or throwing him under the bus. My mother used to say to us, because she had a whole group of boys there, 5 boys and 1 girl. My sister's the baby. She used to tell us all the time, listen, I don't like all that hitting y'all are doing at each other. Now, we never hit each other in the face. My parents didn't play that. But you know, we're boys. We toughing each other up, man. We punching each other on the arm. No vital organs. We punch each other in the arm or on the leg. We ain't punching nobody in the stomach. We ain't punching each other in the chest. We ain't hitting each other in the back. We ain't hitting each other upside the head. But we would punch arms and we would punch legs, you know, to show our disapproval of what of something that the other brother did. That was what we did. We even wrestled. We even would put on the boxing gloves and go in the backyard, box, whatever, or move the coffee table out of the living room, whatever. We were boys, let me say that. And we would argue. We would argue because, you know, you got that many different personalities. You're not all going, especially in a small space, 2-bedroom house for the better part of my childhood before I left to go in the Army. That's real talk, 2-bedroom house for the better part. But my mother would always say, do not, I repeat, do not hit your brother or talk bad to your brother or talk bad about your brother outside of this house. Do not do it. And with every what, there's a connected why, right? Here's why my mother told us not to do it. She said, if somebody else sees you disrespecting your brother, they're going to think they can disrespect him. Oh, well, he don't respect his own brother. I can do it. And now you got a problem. If somebody sees you hitting your brother, they're going to think it's okay for them to hit your brother. And now you got a problem. And guess what? When you got a problem, you're going to have another problem with me as your mother or him as your father. And I ain't want that smoke from my dad. My dad is 17 years older than me, so imagine me being 17. Now, why I ain't getting no more whoopings after, you know, and that, for those of you who are sensitive and you're like, oh, corporal punishment for children is bad. I was not abused. Let me say that. I was not abused. Did I get that whoop? Did I get that belt? Yes. Did I consider it child abuse? No. I turned out great, as did my other siblings, okay? But that being said, imagine being 12, all right? Imagine being 11, imagine being 10, 9, and your dad is what? 17 years old. Your dad 26. Bruh, you too strong. Bruh, you too strong and young. Bruh, you swinging that belt too fast. It sounded like a helicopter landed. Anyway, I'm laughing. The fact that I could laugh about that, for those of you that would see that and get offended or horrified, just put it out of your mind. I'm laughing about it, okay? I wasn't traumatized at all. I usually did something to deserve it. Abuse is hitting the kid when they did nothing to deserve it, all right? Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to get into that. So, I wanted y'all to understand why I shared that story and how that applies even to what's going on. If y'all got something bad to say about Kyrie, y'all don't like what he did, go behind the scenes. A lot of y'all got Kyrie's phone number. Call Kyrie, be like, Kyrie, why you do that, man? Those conversations should never hit the light of day. Because now what you did was you just basically pit yourself against your brother in front of the camera. We got to stop doing that, y'all. We got to stop doing that. I'm going to share a video later this week or next week that illustrates how we were doing the same thing thousands of years ago that got us right in this pickle right now. Because we got to stop it. We're the generation that can turn this around, y'all. We got to turn it around. But for you to turn it around, you got to see yourself first. You got to be able to identify, hey, you know what, man? This is where our forefathers went wrong. This is where our ancestors went wrong. Let's do something different. You can't have a recipe that calls for a teaspoon of salt. You put a tablespoon in it every time, and every time the food or the dish comes out too salty, but you keep putting a tablespoon of salt in it, when the instruction said put a teaspoon of salt in it, or a quarter teaspoon of salt, but you putting a whole tablespoon in. Well, I like salt. Okay, but you put a whole tablespoon in there. It's too salty now. And every time you make it, it's too salty. You got to do something different. Y'all stop. Listen, I'm not saying that you cannot disagree. You ain't going to agree with everybody. Hell, there's some of the comments I'm reading, people don't disagree with my commentary. But when they're respectful, I'll leave it up there and we just agree to disagree. Now, if you disrespectful, your comment ain't going to see the light of day. I'm telling you, I'm deleting it. What is disrespect? Disrespect is calling me out of my name. Disrespect is cursing me out with the keyboard when I didn't do all I did. Listen, I presented commentary. I did it in a respectful manner. If you're going to disagree respectfully. If you're going to disagree with somebody who left a comment, disagree with them respectfully. That's all. Y'all, we got to stop fighting. We got to stop fighting each other. Where has it gotten us? Where is it getting us right now? A house divided against itself cannot stand. That's in the scripture. So I want to leave y'all with that, man. Listen, I thank y'all for watching this video. I thank y'all for rocking with me. I've been out here since 2019 is when I started Maddie's Rap, but I've been out here a little bit longer than that. And I appreciate all of you guys that have, as one of my homegirls that has a YouTube channel says, all of my A1 day ones. Okay, I appreciate you guys so much. I appreciate the new people. I appreciate the love and support. I appreciate the energy. I love you guys so much. You have no idea. And with that, I'll tell you about these books real quick, and I'm gonna get off of here. I told you I'm a multiple award-winning author. From Fear to Faith: A Survivor Story is a tale of how having the proper mindset can help you to achieve what is thought to be impossible. How having the proper mindset can help you to overcome the absolute worst of circumstances. In 2011, I was diagnosed with a rare and deadly form of what I call the C word. They found about a 4-centimeter tumor in my small bowel. I had problems with that. And they were like, yo, this is a very dangerous situation. If you don't do this or that, might not be good for you. I'm here 11 years later telling that story, and how mindset and steadfastness and visualizing and speaking on and believing on what my outcome was going to be, how I'm here, how I'm able to tell you that. Because you can take that story, even though that was about a health crisis, you can take that story and you can take it and use it as a template and apply it to any situation you might ever find yourself in. Mindset is everything. Mindset is everything. All right? And then the second book, I'm smiling because it was so much fun to write, so much fun to read, and so much fun to interact with readers about. Stuck in an Elevator. Stuck in an Elevator. It is a tale of passion and self-discovery that takes place high above the Los Angeles skyline. All right? I won't say because I don't want to get in no trouble. Y'all know everybody's now, it's just all this legal stuff going on around out here right now. Let me just say this. Take your favorite so-called black, y'all know I use the air quotes, I won't say that again. Take your favorite so-called black actor, ladies, fellas. This book is for both of us, okay? Ladies and fellas. This book, I've gotten almost as much feedback from the fellas as I have from the ladies. So let me put that out there. Don't let the cover fool you, okay? Picture your favorite black, so-called black actor stuck in an elevator with someone who is the polar opposite. Okay? Polar opposite background. Okay? Polar opposite thought processes. And they're stuck for 1 hour. They probably don't like each other. I hear somebody tell me, Matt, shut up because you're going to tell a story. I'm not going to tell it. I'm going to pull up, y'all. Stuck in an Elevator. From Fear to Faith: A Survivor Story. You can find both of them in print on my website, www.talfordarts.com. And then they're also available on Kindle, Amazon Kindle, and Apple iBooks. And for those of you that prefer audiobook, while Stuck in an Elevator is not in audiobook format, From Fear to Faith, A Survivor Story is, narrated by yours truly. So I'll end this video like I do all of them. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up. Like, share, comment, subscribe. You got a comment, please leave it below. I want to hear what you guys' thoughts are. Do you feel like those scriptures can be applied as a template to what's going on today? Tell me what you think about the story I shared about what my mom taught us growing up. I want to hear you. Did you guys get any similar teaching from your parents? Let's share those. We build a community that way, okay? And if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already and you want to, hit that subscribe button and slide that notification bell up to all so that you'll be notified when I upload new content. And last but not least, guys, I say it all the time, tell somebody you love them and mean it. How do you mean it? You have to show it. Love is an action word. It's a verb, okay? Love is also a noun, okay? It's also a state of being. But far too often we focus on the state of being and not so much the verb. To receive love, you have to give love, all right? The sooner you give, the sooner you get to have. Y'all know the song. All right, y'all know the song. A love of your own. Be the love you want to receive, okay? The more love we spread in this planet, the more darkness we will drive out. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Peace.